Greetings, Earthlings! The video you are about to watch contains spoilers for Endless Monday, which is a game that Rover and Cysha each describe as the funniest game they've ever played together. So to not have the jokes spoiled for you, it is recommended that you play the game yourself first. If spoilers do not concern you, you may proceed. Please Robo enjoy this Robo video.
I told myself that, over the course of my most recent winter break, I was going to make significant progress on my next video for this channel. Did I succeed in that? Yeah, of course I did. I waited until the last possible Sunday, recorded B-roll for an hour, and then gave up for the night. And seeing how successful I was in this endeavor, I figured I would be a great instructor on how to avoid procrastinating. And the textbook for our little lecture today will be the indie visual novel Endless Monday, Dreams and Deadlines by author H.C. Nunn, a game where you do your best to help the protagonist, Penny, stop procrastinating her work. It seems a simple task, but this quest quickly goes awry. It's a hilarious game, with a plot akin to the absurdism of something like Chowder.
Comedy Gold.
Bear in mind, I am a huge Grinch. I hate all things fun and joyous. So when I hear a piece of media is, funny, it repulses me. There's no such thing as funny media. This is the funniest game I've ever played. While I do stand by that statement, to advertise Endless Monday exclusively as such would be a disservice. Amidst the hilarity is soul. Relatable messaging regarding creativity intertwined with an outpouring of love for all things art and artist. So today's goals are twofold. 1, retrace my steps through Endless Monday to properly present its message and descent to absurdity. And 2, educate you all with some useful productivity tips along the way. Let's get started. Our story begins on a Saturday late at night where our protagonist, Penny, is sitting at her desk bemoaning the fact that, despite having weeks to finish a large project for work, she has made absolutely zero progress. She receives a phone call from another woman she calls Miss Whiskey, and as you might expect from somebody with that kind of name, she is off getting plastered at the club. She invites Penny to join her, but of course, Penny has a project to finish, so she declines. They then have a brief convo where Miss Whiskey is initially shocked by Penny's impeccable procrastination skills, but her drunken stupor easily placates her. This leads us to our first decision as we're tempted to take Miss Whiskey up on her offer. If you accept, you get a bad ending, so we refuse and keep Penny on the right track. Now, if you follow me on other corners of the internet, you may have heard some of my terrible gaming opinions, such as my hatred towards alternate endings, but I really like how they're handled in this game. Every bad ending is very obviously the wrong thing to do, so you end up clicking on them out of genuine curiosity as opposed to them being BS pitfalls. We'll see what this particular alternate ending looks like in a bit, but bear in mind, I will not be showing off all of the endings in this video. Anyway, Penny finishes the conversation with Miss Whiskey, and then we're given access to the menu that we'll be interacting with for the rest of the game. It's very reminiscent of the menus in the investigation sections of Phoenix Wright games, with save, think, action, and move being the things we can do. The think button will present us with more specific options to click, usually prompting Penny to consider the situation that she finds herself in or remind us what we should be doing next. Here, she's effectively just telling us to press the action button, a tutorial of sorts. The action button gives us even more options, usually ones that will actually progress the story or change the environment. Let's look at the project documentation. Penny's computer screen assaults us with vague corporate jargon that essentially boils down to her needing to design 6 motivational posters with accompanying slogans for the company's ZineBot 6000 initiative, without giving even a hint of what that actually is. It also includes engineering schematics, but they don't seem to come with an explanation of a purpose, just the design. A design that Penny does not hesitate to express her displeasure of. Penny then gives us the info that Miss Whiskey is the one that actually has to present the finished drawings to the rest of the company, so she's not the only one that'll be in trouble if she doesn't finish. She muses that if she has 2 days to finish, she could break up her work into 3 pictures on Saturday and 3 pictures on Sunday, which is actually solid advice. Let's make that our first productivity tip. Break up your work into smaller pieces so you don't overwhelm yourself. Next, we can have Penny do a doodle, or a warm-up sketch, as she calls it. Much like a Twitter artist typing RKGK, she says it's just a sketch, but it's a gorgeous colored piece depicting her OC, Tiger-chan, the apparent subject of the Tiger comics that Miss Whiskey frequently gives her grief over. And finally, we can take a gander at Penny's phone, which opens up even more options of things to look at. We can check her calendar and her to-do list. I love that she wrote, "Think about starting project," twice. You know, she's actually onto something here. Staying organized really helps with productivity. Hey, that could be our next productivity tip. Write down all of the things you need to accomplish and check them off as you complete them. Man, we're really knocking these out. Are you feeling more productive yet? We can check Penny's email, or at least we could if it wasn't broken. She's also got a mobile game downloaded that we can play, Lumberlass. Yep, it's an incremental game, and Penny really seems to enjoy it. I can't relate. I have no idea how people can get addicted to those kinds of games. We can also call people in Penny's contacts. Miss Whiskey's there, of course, as well as 2 other peers and her mom. Though Penny doesn't look too happy when we hover over her mom. I wonder why.
Did you know your cousin, my partner at the law firm? You do know you still have time to go back to school and get a real degree. Do you have a boyfriend yet?
I no longer wonder why. Putting that moment of crushing reality behind us, we can call Miss Whiskey, though she doesn't have much to add. She's still at the club and still tempts Penny to join her, and we still do not allow it to happen. So instead, let's become acquainted with the other 2 contacts in Penny's phone, Sky and Hana. Sky is a friend of Penny's who used to be an employee at the company. Upon calling her, she tells Penny that she'd been lying in bed all day, not even knowing what day it was. After some brief small talk, we can ask her a couple questions, starting with getting to know her a little bit better. How's life been?
I decided to try taking my side gig full time and see if I couldn't make a living doing what I love. You know, instead of hating my job and my life all the time. So now I'm putting all my time and effort into my online cooking show.
The ever-supportive Penny asks her how her channel's doing and gets hit with a,
Well, you'd know if you were subscribed.
We're subscribed, right guys? Right? We're subscribed, right? Yeah, of course we are.
Oh yeah? What's my show even called then?
Yeah, what's the name of the OC in my thumbnails, huh? Huh? Anyway, I have no idea what her channel's called, so let's just pick one at random.
That's right. I guess you are subscribed after all.
Yeah, I knew that. Anyway, through this conversation, we get to see why I consider Sky to be best girl, because she's just like me for real. She's truly passionate about her online show, but is having to come to terms with the fact that it's going nowhere, and she's not making any money from it, and might have to get a real job. Penny suggests coming back to the company, but Sky is vehemently against that idea, name-dropping someone called Blythe. Something to remember for later.
But still, having a stable income doesn't sound so bad right now, even if I have to work for some faceless corporation. Back when I was still employed, I could just blame my job for all my problems. Like not having time or energy for my true passions, feeling my soul slipping away, and all that. Now I have no one to blame but myself when I can't hack it on my own. Hence the little crisis I'm having right now.
As someone who loves uploading videos to the internet, Sky's message really resonated with me. I mean, I have a job and will not be quitting it anytime soon, but the messaging about being able to have a target for all of your problems is very real. Whenever I'm on winter or summer break, it always feels horrible that I never make as much progress on video projects as I tell myself I should. At least when it's a work week, I can say, well, I had a rough week at work, so I'll just veg today. It's okay because it's work's fault that I'm not making any progress. Not to mention the feeling of returning to the rat race solely because you need money and not because you actually enjoy it.
C'est la vie.
After recovering from that deep talk with Sky, we can ask her if she knows anything about Penny's project to maybe get more info and actually progress with the game. Sky is immediately upset by our mentioning of Zenebot 6000, having apparent history with it, though she refuses to elaborate, dropping only a single hint about it being another one. We can ask her if she has any other ideas, and she suggests keeping the images simple, since the vague instructions seem to imply the company just wants brand recognition. So, do the bare minimum. Got it. We say our farewells, with Penny having to admit to Sky about still being at work even so late at night on a weekend. I do my best work under pressure, she says, as does everyone else who's written essays the night before they're due. Pressure builds diamonds, after all. Last but not least in Penny's contacts is Hana, someone that Penny is less familiar with than Sky and works for the company's operations team. Hana is immediately less receptive to a chat than Sky was.
Is this work related?
I mean, everything's work related when you're at work.
Do not call me again unless it's related to operations team business. I'm hanging up now. Bye.
Yeah, Hana's pretty mean. We're basically playing as the SpongeBob to her Squidward. And that's exactly why we're immediately calling her again. Don't hang up, it's work-related. See, Hana's on call, which means if we have something work-related to discuss with her, she is required to speak with us. So we leverage that to force her into some menial small talk. How's work been lately? She's not happy that this is the route we're taking, but gives in regardless. Apparently she's been going through it, having to cover for all of the leftover work when Sky quit. I love that Hana says, they actually expect me to do my job now. Every day I go to work disappointed when I have to actually do my job. Penny insinuates that Hana might miss Sky, which incites an explosive reaction.
Absolutely not! I'm glad she's gone. She could be dead for all I care. So did you actually need something from me, or did you call just to be annoying?
Well, being annoying is usually my prime directive, but fine. We can ask some questions that might actually be more pertinent. First, we ask about Zenebot 6000, and her immediate reaction is surprised that we know of it, followed by trying to cover up that surprise, refusing to tell us anything. More than a little suspicious. Second, we ask if Hana's able to fix Penny's broken email, which she isn't, apparently. Penny asks what her team even does, and yeah, I don't have any idea either. I googled it, and it kind of seems like operations teams just do everything. Is IT not everything? Hana dodges by asking Penny what her team even does, and when Penny starts to explain it,
Penny! I don't care! Anyway, How important could your emails even be if you haven't checked them in weeks?
Wait, she might be cooking. Productivity tip number 3. Never check your emails. There's never anything important in them.
Okay, well, I think you've wasted enough of my time. I'm not on call for the operations team, so I could be your conversation buddy.
Oh, I thought we had a good chat.
No, we didn't! Don't call me again!
Okay, one more time. I can get through her shell.
Stop calling me!
She'll come around. Now that we're familiar with Penny's phone and what we can do with it, we can try and force Penny into working on her project, but no dice. Her head is completely empty. She gives us what almost reads like a pseudo-tutorial on calling people, which is a little awkward considering all the dialogue, which is exhausted. We can make her talk to her desk plant though, like rubber duck debugging, but instead it's succulent mind defogging with the homie Lil Suck. As you might expect from a plant, it doesn't have anything interesting to say, but Penny does come to the conclusion that what she lacks is inspiration, and she might find it through walking around the office. This unlocks the final menu option, Move, and with it, we are finally granted freedom from Penny's desk. On the main office floor, we can scan the area to learn about all of the places connected to it, and if we have Penny give us a hint about what to do next, she'll tell us she's thirsty and suggest heading to the break room. We can do these areas in any order, but we'll listen to Penny's suggestion for now. Within the break room, Penny immediately locks onto a pot of coffee. Her caffeine addiction compels her to drink under the justification that it can't be more than a day or two old, and who are we to stand in her way? Penny drinks the coffee, and the side effects are immediate. Fade to white. 2 years ago. During Penny's first day at work, she is jump scared by a spooky gremlin who brandishes a knife at her before disappearing. Luckily, Miss Whiskey arrives for a proper introduction to the company, the floor they work on, and Sky and Hana. Hi, Sky and Hana. Apparently, their boss is a scary person named Blythe. Not the first time we've heard that name. Sky in the future, present, complained about her as well. Penny puts together, and Miss Whiskey confirms, that Blythe is indeed the knife-wielding perplet we saw earlier. But luckily, Penny shouldn't have to worry about her since she's the boss of a completely different team. Miss Whiskey also shows Penny to her workstation and gives her a desk-warming gift, the succulent futurely known as Lil Suck. After that introduction, Miss Whiskey is free to talk, so we could discuss Penny's first day, or we could pull out her phone interface. Penny's to-do list is completely different in the past. Cute detail, though she won't let us see her contacts and her email inbox hasn't been set up yet, so no bonus info to glean there. But we can play Lumberlass. We can ask Miss Whiskey for some more info about the company, but she just gives us a vague corporate answer. Services and solutions. Okay. Penny asks for further clarification on what the team she's on specifically does, and she gets like 80 things thrown in her face. Yeah, zero chance she's retaining any of this. In layman's terms, she gets to draw for the company with little pressure. Ignore the amount of pressure she's under in the future present. That's a pressure of her own creation. Penny asks if there's anyone else on the team. There isn't. I got confused about this on my first playthrough, but I think how it works is there are separate teams underneath the creative organization, and the entire organization isn't just these two, with Miss Whiskey actually leading multiple teams. World building. Not that it matters, since, spoilers, we won't see anybody else in the org. She does drop a line about corporate life being easier than college, and I wholeheartedly agree. Well, I guess I wouldn't know. I didn't get to use my degree, but I've heard that once you get your foot in the door at a nice place, it's smooth sailing. We asked Miss Whiskey for more info on the operations organization, but she doesn't seem to know much about them either. She does, however, confirm for us that Blythe is the vice president of operations. After a cute convo where Miss Whiskey promises to protect Penny from Blythe, she heads off to a meeting and we fade to white once more, waking up back in the present. Penny can reflect on her time in the past, giving us more info about her relationship with Miss Whiskey. What do we do next? Drink more expired coffee, of course! This time, we jump to 6 months ago, finding Penny at her desk drawing her Tiger-chan comics. She's giggling to herself as she reads her own comics, reacting to them as if she's never seen them before. What will happen when Tiger-chan meets Mr. Koala? Find out right now! Her art style is super cute. I'm glad we get to see as many of her drawings as we do.
I don't know where to even start with this, Penny.
Uh-oh. Miss Whiskey pulls Penny into an impromptu meeting in the break room and lays into her, upset that she's only doing the bare minimum, just barely finishing work by the deadline. But I'm with Penny here. She's finishing the work by the deadline. What's the issue? Also, we're really doing this right in front of Sky's Burger? Ms. Whiskey adds on to it, though, telling Penny of a rumor that the company is likely looking towards layoffs directed at the creative team, with plans to try and automate their work. To hopefully help Penny look good and necessary for the company, she's gonna assign her a big, important, upcoming job. Sounds great and all, but we know exactly how important Penny's gonna treat it. Wait, hold on. If this is the project present Penny is working on, that means she procrastinated for 6 months straight? How did you manage that? After Miss Whiskey takes her leave, Sky will stand up to console us. Now, I'm gonna say something controversial here. I understand the enjoyment that comes from the trope of anime girl eat burger. It took me a while to grasp it, but eventually I did convert. With that said, it usually comes with this disgusting secondary trope of there being pieces of food stuck to their face. It's not cute. It's gross. Anyway, Sky takes this moment to admit to Penny that she feels responsible somehow and she's gonna be quitting soon. 2 points we can ask her for clarification on. How could she feel responsible for Penny getting scolded? Well, it's because the company's plans for automating away entire teams are being spearheaded by Blythe, who we now know to be the boss of Sky's org, or the vice boss, I guess. I don't really understand corporate leadership structure if that wasn't obvious. So why is she planning on quitting soon? Well, because the company's views don't align with her own, which is quite commendable. She claims she originally joined the company because it did good things in the past, but good things like what? Like clean energy? Or like assistive technology? Or like, I don't know, roads and stuff? Like everyone else we've asked, past Sky gives a waffling, non-committal answer. Cool, nobody knows anything about the company they work for. C'est la vie, I guess. We can ask Sky about her quitting, where she'll go into more detail about her plans. She's going to go full-time with her online cooking show.
Yeah, I have a bunch of money saved up, so I'm gonna try following my dreams for once. If it doesn't work out, at least I'll know I tried. You know, instead of sitting at work being miserable and dreaming about what might have been.
This is where you learn the name of Sky's cooking show. While Penny promises to become a day one, I am left feeling low-key punished for calling Sky first and potentially pissing her off before seeing this scene. You can play Lumberlass in front of her and she comments on it though. That makes up for it. A little. Sky gets ready to head back to work, but before she leaves, Penny points out how hard it is to take Sky seriously with crumbs on her face. I am vindicated!
C'est la vie.
Back in the present, Penny can reflect on her conversation with Sky. She wishes the best for Sky's endeavors, but regarding herself, her procrastinating on her current job is made much worse by Miss Whiskey's pep talk that preceded it. To quote her directly, "Nothing like a trip down memory lane to realize how much potential I had that I wasted." Damn. Well, rather than dwelling on it and becoming depressed, Penny turns her remembrance of the past around and finds inspiration in it. She dashes madly back to her desk, desperate to put her ideas onto paper. Digital paper. Finally, we get to see a master at work. We got a taste of Penny's style through her comics, but now we get to see her professional side. Oh, I'm so excited. It's corporate art style? This is the funniest reveal in the entire game, in my opinion. I wish I had the original recording of Cysha and I first seeing this because we were dying for at least like 5 minutes straight. Take a coffee break. Who doesn't love coffee? The font really brings this whole thing together. zb_coffee.psd is saved, and Penny is now 1/6 of the way to completing her project. This unlocks the option to let Penny rest her eyes, but don't do that. She will actually just pass out and not do the rest of the drawing she needs to finish. This option exists solely to see the ending variations for only partially finishing the project. But where should we look for inspiration next? We just had a heart-to-heart with Sky and Miss Whiskey, so maybe it's time for Hana to give us some inspiration?
Stop calling me!
Maybe later then? Alright, to shake things up, let's break convention and explore the location at the bottom of the list next. What's in that mysterious hallway? A door with a keypad, a camera, and a big old warning sign. Operations org only, huh? Well, don't mind if I operate this keypad. Well, I tried. Damn, those 6 digits? The odds of actually guessing that correctly are like 1 in a lot. Penny's a little worried about getting reported, but not worried enough to resist trying again. She tries out voice recognition next. Of course, this just results in Penny feeling stupid. After all, it's a keypad. Dejectedly, Penny returns to the main office area. Maybe now Hana will have something inspirational for us? Oh, she didn't hang up immediately this time. That's a good sign.
You! Penny! You touched the door, didn't you?
No. Hana scolds Penny, but it's pretty much just how she talks normally, so it's fine. Yeah, I can't resist. What's behind the door?
That's strictly operations team business. Stop poking your nose in things that have nothing to do with you and go make your stupid motivational posters or whatever.
Well, if she's not gonna tell us, then we're just gonna have to try the keypad again.
Stop touching the door!
Let's try the meeting room next. Upon entering, the screens mounted on the wall flick on to reveal a presentation, and we can be nosy and snoop through it, but let's hear what Penny thinks about meetings first. Unsurprisingly, she hates them and just plays on her phone through them. Oh, right, the presentation. Conveniently, it's about Zenbot 6000, so it probably contains some actual useful info for Penny. Also, Blythe's last name is apparently Phoenix, which is a super cool last name, but this has me wondering, do any of y'all work in corporate? And if you do you call your higher-ups by their first name? I hella would have thought it's last names only for superiors. Anyway, the presentation reveals that Zenbot 6000 is nearing its final stage of development. Makes sense, Penny's making ads for it after all. But the next slide is strange. It apparently can create 300 zines per minute and is focused on air fryers? Also that it's not quite ready for phase 2. But air fryers? Penny can't make any sense of what she's reading. Why build a robot that makes zines? And since this is probably where a lot of people will hear the word zine for the first time, Penny is kind enough to provide a definition. She describes them as indie DIY booklets printed on copier paper. Funnily enough, this game isn't actually my first exposure to the word zine, as in like 2019 or so, I went to an event in LA called Zine Fest. They roped off like a block or two, and a bunch of artists set up stalls and tables to sell zines, prints, pins, and other artsy bits and bobs. I got this zine from a local artist, which is more representative of the printer paper ones that Penny describes, as well as this cool print. Anyway, while we did get more info from the presentation, we can't really make sense of it at the moment, so just keep it all in mind for later. Back in the office, we only have one area left to explore, so let's take a look out the windows. Honestly, the nighttime city skyline looks gorgeous. I think the artist really captured it here. Penny takes this moment to reflect on her life thus far. She had plans to make it big as an artist, but feels like all she's doing is wasting her time at her current job. About to disappoint someone she cares about yet again. It's crazy to me that this game keeps, without fail, speaking directly to my soul about things that I've thought about, things that I've worried about. Hopefully you've been able to see what I meant in the intro about the game's heart, but admittedly, we haven't really seen much of the absurdism I advertised. Penny has a Sonder moment, thinking about all of the other people behind the visible lights, living their own lives, completely unaware of her existence. Then she notices a strange green light in the sky, and it seems to notice her. The green light fully encompasses Penny's vision, and she screams as it engulfs her. Penny's vision slowly returns to her. Though blurry, she can just make out a shape. A person, maybe? Saint Peter, is that you? Penny screams. Twice for good measure. She frantically demands answers from the creature before her.
My apologies. It appears I have neglected to enable my robo-translation robo-module. Greetings, I am Kini, Androidian ambassador to your planet, Sol 3. You are currently a passenger on my robo-spacefaring robo-vessel.
Oh, okay, yeah, that explains everything. Penny just got abducted by an android alien during an introspection sesh, as one does. And we don't need to worry because she's just an ambassador on a peace mission. What the hell is going on? Well, Penny doesn't really get it either, but she does optimistically reckon that getting abducted by a peaceful android alien is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. I mean, how many people do you know that have been abducted more than once? Given its rarity, it could lead to inspiration. So let's chat with Anime Girl ET and find out more. I mean, we could attempt to run and then hurl insults, but being mean to Kini could have dire consequences. Kini admits that she's been searching for a diplomat to communicate with for several months now. Penny hits her with a "who asked?" Okay, so much for not being mean, and then demands to know why she was abducted when she's just an office worker. Kini responds with a terrifying line about how this isn't an abduction. They would not be talking like this if it was. Also, Penny was only chosen because she didn't seem busy. Yeah, fair. I guess she was just staring out a window. I love the way the tone jumps all over the place. If you thought the flashback granting expired coffee was weird, you ain't seen nothing yet. Let's make it even more confusing by shoehorning in a productivity tip here. Tip number 4. Always stay busy? Otherwise you might get scooped up by android aliens. Yeah, this choice that pops up doesn't matter. If you tell Kini to take Penny with her, she'll refuse and reinforce her uselessness. So much for the worst she can say is no. Kini then admits to Penny that she has run out of energy and needs to, quote, robo-refuel her robo-body. If you were wondering, Kini's robo-manner of robo-speaking is funny every time. Penny surmises that she's just hungry, or at least that's what she thinks Kini means. I wonder if she drinks gasoline or electricity.
My robo-metabolization robo-module has been calibrated for local fuel sources. I believe you call such fuel sources burgers.
Oh. So Penny takes the android alien out for burgers, and we get a really cute CG of it. The two end up bonding over the meal. Penny says, "It turns out, even in space, everyone's just working for a living," confirming that even an advanced race of android aliens haven't invented an escape from the wage cage. As a show of gratitude for the meal and the talk, Kini, and brace yourself for this one, opens a time portal so Penny can go back in time and finish her project. Now you see why we shouldn't make Kini mad. If she doesn't reveal her time powers to us, she can't go back in time to record the intro that you already saw, which would be like a whole thing. Now I want you to take a wild guess as to what happens next. No, of course Penny didn't use the time wisely. We're right back where we started, the weekend before it's due, with nothing done. Or, well, actually we're back with the one coffee break picture done, so I guess Penny's Photoshop files came back with her. It is not for naught, however, as her time spent with Kini has Penny feeling inspired. Nice. Hopefully this one will look cooler with android space aliens and it's more corporate art. Is that supposed to be Kini? I guess it could be anyone. Well, space final.psd is one more step to finishing the project. That's 2 out of 6. Penny lets us know that she's got Kini's phone number, however that works, and so naturally, she's been added to the list of contacts we can call. Oh, Miss Whiskey's calling? She invites Penny to join her, but of course, Penny has a project to finish, so wait, I've already done this. It is funny that Penny's lines here are slightly different, but Miss Whiskey still responds in the exact same way, exposition and all. But yeah, let's not go to the club. By the way, every other phone contact remembers the conversations we had with them. So why did Miss Whiskey get reset? Don't think about it too much. Productivity tip number 5, don't think about it too much. Let's immediately call Kini. It's been months since we last saw her, and I miss her. Also, Penny clarifies that she didn't receive receive a phone number. The call goes to Keeney's ship through magic android alien technology. Glad that was cleared up. Keeney questions why Penny is at the office and not relaxing at home after finishing her project. Well, because that would be the smart thing to do. Being the nice android alien that she is, Keeney offers to let Penny time travel again. Though due to how resource intensive the process is, she should probably save it until she develops her, quote, life experience and wisdom. This is Penny we're talking about though, so that could take years. Now that we have Keeney's safety net under us, let's do something I haven't done yet. Get a bad ending. Hey, Miss Whiskey! So Penny enjoys herself at the club at the cost of her entire life falling apart. She ends up getting absolutely wasted and is too hungover to finish her work on Sunday. Her hangover leads to the flu, which leads to getting fired. Without a job, she can't afford rent, so she has to move out to the country. While there, she completely gives up on her passions, instead turning to living off the land to make ends meet. She sells produce at the local market, chops wood in the forest, and harvests minerals at the nearby monster-infested mine. At least she fits in well with the locals. I wonder if she met a cute purple-haired girl that eats rocks. But anyway, long story short, Penny failed to complete her project. This moment would feel a lot more dramatic if we didn't proceed watching that bad ending with calling our magic time-traveling android alien friend, huh? Yeah, we're calling Keeney.
Affirmative. I will robo-transport to your location in 1.41 roboseconds.
Wow, that's pretty fast. Keeney beams Penny back to Saturday, because you already know if she would have sent her back further, she would have wasted all that time anyway. Again, Penny gets straight to work, feeling inspired from the other life she lived. Wait, doesn't this mean Penny is several years older? ZB harvest asdif.psd. The file names are the simplest joke, but they get me every time. Oh hey, Miss Whiskey's calling. She invites Penny to join her, but of course, Penny falls into a bottomless pit. Ah! After expertly dodging that conversation, Penny's feeling tired and tries to rest her eyes. If you have any last-minute phone calls you want to make or office wandering you want to do, say no. There's some super important business we have to take care of before resting. There's some cute details here. Penny's sprite is edited to look much more worn out and disheveled than normal. And if you call Miss Whiskey, she mentions the bottomless pit. But we've explored all we can. So after a hard day's, few years work, we let Penny rest. Welcome to this. We can walk around and look at things or characters, and Penny will comment on them. This section feels very Earthboundy. Hey, that's literally the Earthbound present. My favorites are Stapley and the Sad Clown. You know, sometimes it really isn't that deep. And oh my god, is that sophisticated looking equipment?
Penny, baby! How nice of you to come visit for once.
Penny immediately clocks that her own OC standing before her must be an indication she's dreaming, and her reaction is uncharacteristically subdued because of it. She usually screams at everything. Tiger-chan can join our party and follow us around. She'll add in her own comments on some of the things you can inspect/talk to, but the main reason you want to take her with you is that it spawns 2 new NPCs. First up, the myth, the plant, the legend, Lil Suck.
I am Sarcules!
Okay, I'm not doing that voice. Sarcules here apparently has something important to tell Penny.
There's no way to sugarcoat this. I do not want to listen to your constant complaining any longer. If you had just worked for even half of the time you spent complaining at me, you'd have finished your project 3 times by now.
Though it hurts Penny deeply and she has a hard time accepting it, Sarcules' words ring true. I really relate to what he says about not waiting for inspiration. He tells Penny that she needs to stop whining and start doing. And that's honestly the only thing that's worked for me too. Just sitting down and forcing yourself to start. It's a great productivity tip. Just get started. Humans are beings of inertia. Getting started is a lot harder than keeping at it. So if you can force yourself through that initial hurdle, you'll probably surprise yourself with how much progress you make. Though I don't agree with everything he says. He suggests that Penny might lack motivation and that a self-improvement activity such as the gym might improve it. Everybody's different and that strategy might work for you, but it didn't work for me. One thing that I heard in some YouTube video a long time ago that did help was reassurance. The speaker in that video said something along the lines of, what you lack isn't motivation, but discipline. To me, motivation to pursue my hobbies felt very internal or personal, intrinsically tied to my overall interest in them. And I felt that poor motivation was representative of completely losing that interest. Whereas a shift in mindset to instead believing I simply had no discipline made me feel better, because discipline was a skill to be trained and was not at all indicative of my overall interest in pursuing my hobbies. Sorry if I got a little preachy there. This is a topic that I think about often.
I don't like him, baby. Want me to rip his throat out?
Also spawning after Tiger-chan joins the party is this tree with a koala atop it. Tiger-chan seems extremely apprehensive to interact, calling him a malevolent and evil beast. Baby, we can ask her what happened between them, and Tiger-chan will recount the events of the comic Penny literally drew earlier in the story. I mean, I guess timeline-wise, that scene took place years and years ago when you account for Penny's time traveling, but still, I feel like she should remember. Tiger-chan waved hello to Mr. Koala, and he Hit her on the head with a coconut! Yeah, quite the story. Tiger-chan asks Penny what she thinks of Mr. Koala, but this is bait. Do not call him cute. There are consequences. Tiger-chan will remember that.
I knew you'd see it my way, baby.
So we engage Mr. Koala in battle. To succeed in this battle, you'll need to stall for enough turns in order for Tiger-chan to prepare her koala-seeking missile. You gotta watch his movements carefully, and I'm just kidding. I just wanted to confuse anybody who had me in a second tab. Well, the koala-seeking missile part was real, but
Wait, baby, watch out!
So Penny dies. She wakes up back in her office and checks her phone to find that she slept through the entirety of Sunday. I've paid off some serious sleep debt in my time, but never that expensive. Well, rise and grind, Penny. We got 3 pictures to finish. Her to-do list suggests catching up with our phone contacts to see how they're spending their Sunday, and we will. But first, we have some unfinished business with a certain someone. Penny lays into her desk plant, turning him around so she doesn't have to face his judgment. Get his ass, I guess. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got some people to call. Oh, right, progression. Penny will refuse to call her mom again, so nothing's changed there, but everyone else will have something different to say. Let's start with Keeney. Since we lost a full 18 hours, Penny suggests asking Keeney to send us back in time to regain enough time to finish her project. However, Keeney's hit a bit of a snag.
My ship's Robotachyon robo-reactor is rapidly losing charge. There appears to be a source of massive interference within the quadrant. Thus, I am not able to open more Robotime robo-portals at this time.
Alright, no easy way out this time, but Penny's desperate. She suggests simply waiting for Keeney to finish her repairs. It doesn't matter if she misses her deadline, if she's just gonna travel back to before it ended anyway. Yeah, no dice. Keeney tells Penny that the repairs will take an unknowable amount of time, likely longer than Penny will even be alive. So why doesn't Keeney just come back to this moment after she's finished repairs? Is that too much? Asking your robo-friend to robo-travel back to before you died of old age to help you with getting more time to finish your work? Yeah, maybe Penny should just try and finish it tonight.
In this vast universe, unlikelier things have happened, Earth Penny.
Thanks, Keeney. Alright, let's check in with Miss Whiskey next.
Penny.
Yeah, that's about what I expected. She got so crunk she also lost an entire day.
It got a little crazy. Were you there too?
This choice doesn't matter. As Schrodinger's partygoer, you're telling the truth either way. I say no, because that's the current timeline's truth. In a moment of lucidity, Miss Whiskey asks Penny if she's finished the project, and Penny avoids answering.
I'm definitely not going to think about this right now.
She hung up on me. Yeah, that's probably for the best. She needs to rest, not worry about things she can't fix. How's Best Girl doing? It's been years since we last talked.
Huh? I thought we already caught up just yesterday.
Oh yeah, time travel. Well, Sky's doing great, it seems. She got out of bed, ate a burger, took a walk. You love to see it.
I enjoyed being outside and just being in the moment. I should do it more often.
Yeah, that's great and all, Sky. Happy for you, but I want the dirt. Do you know what's behind the door?
Yeah, of course I know what it is. It doesn't really have anything to do with your project, though.
I thought if anyone would be willing to spill company secrets, it'd be the woman who quit the company due to hating its practices. But Sky reckons she might be under a non-disclosure agreement, which is valid. For God's sake, whatever you do not break an NDA. Productivity tip number 7, do not break NDA. In not so specific terms, Sky tells us to just keep playing the game and we'll naturally find out. And that's all she's got for us. Sucks we didn't get any new info, but hearing about Sky's day was a reward in itself. Last, but certainly not least, Hana. Oh, she didn't immediately hang up. We must be growing closer.
Hi, Penny. It's good to hear from you again.
Wait, really?
No, of course not.
Oh, that's good. I was worried you were a doppelganger or something. Well, we do definitely have work-related things to discuss. The door. You should tell me what's behind it now. I'm pretty sure she gives the exact same dialogue as yesterday, so sadly, nothing new there. We can also ask her about Zenbot 6000, though, again, no new info. But while rejecting us, she seems to notice something and get distracted briefly. A little odd. So, how was your shift yesterday?
I'm still on my on-call shift. Ever since Sky left, I'm basically on call 24/7. It sucks, especially when I have to take calls from you.
I don't know how the author did it, and I'm not really sure how to articulate it properly, but they wrote Hana perfectly. She's like really mean. All of the things she says are mean, and yet you just can't help but love her dialogue and want more of it. It really helps that Penny is written to never take offense to it, but also to never relent either. The way this conversation ends is the perfect representation of their dynamic.
Penny, no. You've wasted enough of my time. I've spoken with you more this weekend than I've ever spoken with you in my entire life.
Aw, does that mean we're becoming friends?
Absolutely not! Never call me again!
Which, of course, means we're immediately calling her again.
Stop calling me!
If you reflect in the office, Penny will mention that she's thirsty and could use some water. She hammers this in with both dialogue choices, actually. So we head out into the main office where, again, parched, and then into the break room where Penny announces her entrance for some reason. I'm in the break room!
Well, look who showed up. You must be thirsty, baby.
So, Tiger-chan appears before Penny.
In the flesh, baby. Surprised to see me? Sorry about the whole coconut thing, baby. I got a cup of water for you. Drink up.
The sprite that she has when she first appears only happens once and looks like that one gumshoe sprite. There wasn't a better place to slot this sentence in the script. Penny asks Tigertron how she could appear before her when she's, not real.
I'm as real as you are, and you're as real as I am, as they say.
They don't say that. Tigertron makes the claim that the jungle adventure really happened, basically hitting Penny with a, "Why wouldn't I be real?" and then raids the break room fridge. Jury's still out on your existence, Tigertron. Penny might just be developing psychosis, and you might be a tulpa. When asked why she's appeared, Tigertron explains that, for one, she was worried about Penny's head injury, and for two, she just had so much fun during the adventure that she wanted to continue it. Penny's got work to do, though, so she can't afford to go adventuring.
It's okay, baby. I'll help you out. We could get inspired. Together.
So, it seems Tigertron will be joining our party in the real world, too. But how did she get here? An excellent question.
I traveled here on a magic cloud, baby.
Oh, of course! That makes total sense. Penny accepts her situation very defeatedly. Honestly, that seems like the best course of action at this point. Treat yourself to some lumberlass to calm down. If you try to drown your sorrows in old, grody coffee, Tigertron will prevent you via a funny interaction where she responds to Penny's internal dialogue, calling her existence even more into question. Although she has her doubts, Penny's to-do list has been updated to include show Tigertron around. So I guess she's accepted this as reality, and we have no choice but to do so as well. She shows Tigertron the main office, where they have a conversation about Penny's big and definitely important job. It's a small line, but Tigertron saying, "Let's make it happen," in response to Penny wanting to draw comics all day is really wholesome. Tigertron then immediately suggests snooping through desks to try and find some info on the operations org. In one of the drawers, Penny finds a small booklet, a zine about air fryers written by Sky. Strange, that's exactly the kind of thing Zinebot was programmed to make. Penny doesn't know exactly what this implies, but it's another excuse to talk to Best Girl, if nothing else.
Shrug.
Did you just say shrug out loud?
Shrug.
Let's check the meeting room. We should review the slideshow after finding that zine. Except the TV doesn't automatically flip back on. We can manually turn it back on, an unheard of action these days, but the presentation that was there has since been closed, which makes this room a Tigertron says dumb stuff room.
The implication here is clear, baby. There is someone else here at the office.
That can't be right. I didn't see anyone.
Then the implication here is clear, baby. There is no one else here at the office.
Thanks. Tigertron acts to Penny as we act to Hana. Annoyingly straightforward, speaking as if everything she says is totally normal and makes sense. They don't have meetings in the jungle. They just send emails. And anytime Penny gives her a sarcastic response because, "What the hell are you talking about, you send emails?" Tigertron always has the perfect follow-up. Do they have zines in the jungle? Yeah, of course they do. They have a vibrant creator ecosystem. Okay, that's good, I guess. Get me out of here. Whenever you return to the main office, Tigertron will say, "At least you're getting your steps in," which is a phrase I hear from at least 3 different people anytime I'm sent to do any errand at work. I'm so sick of it. Is that just a me thing? Do y'all have any recurring phrases or quotes at work that drive you nuts? Because that's mine. I hate it. Anyway, maybe the mysterious door only opens with Tigertron's help?
Stop touching the door!
I'm calling Sky. Penny compliments her on her zine, and you can tell from the way Sky responds that she's extremely passionate about it. It oozes from her speech.
It had articles and reviews and recipes. I wanted to show the world the true meaning of frying with air.
Is there a greater joy than getting to see someone so passionate about something that they speak with not 1, not 2, but 3 exclamation points? Something strange, though, is that Sky didn't start making them until after she quit. So, how could there be one in the office? Sky asks Penny where she found it, and she replies that it was found next to Sky's old desk.
Next to my desk, but that would mean... No, that can't be right.
Penny's a little too dense to put it together.
I guess you should put it back. Someone might miss it. It is a collector's item, after all.
Such a great exchange. Alright, let's get down to business. Sorry, Sky, but we found out more info. Penny tells her about the reason behind Zinebot 6000's creation, mass-producing zines about air fryers. And since Sky also made one, well, there's clearly a connection. What is it? This is enough for Sky to finally give us the full rundown. As we know, after Sky quit the company, she went on to make and distribute a bunch of zines about her passion, air fryers. But Blythe was mad about Sky quitting, feeling embarrassed even. So she went out of her way to build a robot whose sole purpose was to generate thousands and thousands of zines about air fryers. The market was flooded with pale, low-quality imitations, and because of it, Sky's zines were associated with them and also assumed to be crap. Because the bot was trained using data about Sky, it followed in her footsteps and also quit the company to make an online cooking show. And of course, that awful robot slideshow gets infinitely more views than Sky's, to the point where people think that she's the fake hedgehog around here.
I'm the original, damn it. It's built using my work. But how am I supposed to compete with that? It just churns out thousands of videos every week. I didn't even want to make money with my zines. I just wanted to share my love for air fryers with the world. Zines are about personal expression and sharing topics that niche communities care about and giving a voice to anyone who wishes to have one. ZineBot goes against everything zines stand for. There's no love or passion behind it. It's all just a cynical money and power grab. It doesn't even know what an air fryer is. It doesn't technically know anything. It can't even taste food. How would it know the hot, crispy goodness that is a freshly air-fried batch of Sky's famous cheesy fries? Can it know the sheer joy of air frying leftover pizza and it tasting better than when it was first delivered? Can it feel the difference in texture of mozzarella sticks air fried with avocado oil versus sunflower oil? My cooking show was my way of trying to make a living doing what I love, but I'm failing miserably there too. I want to blame ZineBot 5000. But maybe I'm the stupid one for thinking I could monetize and live off my hobby.
And that's Sky's backstory. In my opinion, this game's strongest aspect. Obviously, Blythe's spitefulness is cartoonishly evil, but everything Sky says is so genuine and well articulated. Creative content, no matter what form it comes in, should never be generated by a robot. This story has only grown more poignant as time has gone on. We ask Sky if she knows anything about the Phase 2 mentioned in the slideshow, and she doesn't know any specifics, but guesses it might have to do with completely automating away the entire creative org. Something we also heard from past Miss Whiskey.
I'd say good luck, but I'm rooting for the whole project to fail miserably. Sorry.
Sky's backstory inspired Penny. I mean, how could it not? The anti-generated content rhetoric was so palpable it made me want to create. In fact, let's create a tip right now. Productivity tip number 8, don't use generated content. Something created by human hands, even if amateur or incomplete, is always more valuable and satisfying, both for the creator and any potential viewers. The drawing Penny makes here is a direct reference to Sky's story. Feel free to be mad at Penny for this one. The image is a little bit in bad taste given how much it hurt Sky, but I don't 100% blame her for wanting to finish the project. Income can be a hard thing to replace once you lose it, and remember, it isn't just her job on the line. Okay, that was heavy. I need to relax with a gorgeous view of the city. That's the stuff. I understand the sentiment that it doesn't beat a sky full of stars, but I agree with Penny. The nighttime city skyline has its own charm. Penny asks if Tiger-chan wants to see something cool, so they climb some stairs and end up on the roof of the building, where the view is even more beautiful. The two have a heart-to-heart where Penny reconciles with the fact that it doesn't matter if Tiger-chan is real or not, or whatever unbelievable magic she might have used to travel here. The fact that she's there at all, being supportive, is what matters. A star in the sky twinkles, much like one did before we first met Kini. Despite how warm the chat is, however, the air is cold, so the duo decide to head back down. Reflecting on her feelings towards Tiger-chan has Penny feeling inspired, so she heads back to her desk to complete another drawing. Damn, it's been no time at all since the previous one. She's on a roll. There's an interesting thought. Would you be cordial with your OC if they showed up at your office? Or are you part of that subgroup that puts your OCs through unimaginable agony?
Is that supposed to be me, baby?
Well, it's not supposed to not be you, but it's also supposed to be anyone, really. That's just the nature of this kind of art.
I feel like my positive emotions are being evoked, baby. I'm beginning to feel brand loyalty as a customer.
Oh, good. Somewhere, a business exec just shed a tear of joy. Finally, someone gets it. Let's adventure 2.psd, because version 1 looked even worse, somehow. While pondering the Tiger-chan comic she's going to bury herself in after finishing her project, Penny gets a phone call from Hana? I knew she'd come around.
Penny! I need you to look outside.
Oh, at the beautiful skyline? Sure, why not? That's a giant UFO. Hana tells Penny that they're being invaded by aliens and Penny needs to fend them off, and somehow that isn't the strangest thing that's happened this weekend. There's a laser battery she can use to defend the planet, and to get to it, she'll have to go through the door. Penny's so excited about getting to open the door, she dashes straight there. No getting your steps in comment from Tiger-chan and no consideration about how insane this situation is. We make it to the door and Hana reads out the 6-digit code for us.
1,
1,
2,
2,
3,
3,
4,
4,
5,
5,
6.
6. It's genuinely impressive that the author can depict Penny's disappointment through punctuation alone.
It's completely randomly generated, okay? I don't pick the numbers. Shut up. We don't have time. Hurry up and enter the door.
Inside of the control room, Hana tells Penny to take control of the company's giant laser cannon. You can refuse, but like, come on, it's a giant laser cannon. Also, we might score some points with Hana if we save the world. Surprisingly, we actually get to control this section. Left click to fire and the UFO's health bar will slowly deplete. Eventually, the UFO will spawn ads that you'll want to take care of before they have a chance to shoot you. This goes on for quite a while. It's a lot of clicking, like a finger-hurting amount of clicking. There's unique dialogue and achievements based on how much damage you take throughout the sequence, so play it slow and steady for the best outcome if you must. Of course, I'm a god gamer, so I take no damage.
Not bad, Penny. Not even a single scratch on the giant laser cannon.
And there it is. We've impressed her. We're basically best friends now.
Thanks for filling in for me. I didn't want to log in and do it myself.
Huh? She was just using us because doing it from her laptop would be too cumbersome? Well, I guess input lag is a valid excuse. I guess. Hana then hangs up, refusing to answer any of Penny's completely reasonable questions, and we don't even get the day off for saving the world. I like how we're this deep in the story and Penny is still looking for ways to get out of her project. Gotta respect it. Either way, we solve the mystery of the door and Penny's feeling inspired enough to do another drawing. PSD.PSD, nice. I'm legitimately impressed that the author managed 5 unique jokes about file names throughout the game. And hey, Tiger-chan's still here. She was eerily quiet for that entire sequence. But that's all 6 pictures. With the project completed, we are free to let Penny rest in preparation for tomorrow. Though she does suggest calling Kini to make sure it wasn't her ship that we blew up, so let's do that real quick before bed. Kini's fine, she watched the whole thing go down.
Earth Penny, rest assured, your primitive weapons are completely powerless against our robo-tensile robo-armor.
That makes me feel great. Penny raises a good point though. If Kini's so powerful, why didn't she jump in? Well, because she's a diplomat, of course, and is not equipped with weapons as a result. Okay, that one actually makes a lot of sense. No meddling in the affairs of lesser beings, huh? Penny claps back, saying that Kini has meddled in her affairs like a lot. We're several time portals deep at this point.
Our methodology is sure to be beyond your primitive understanding.
Well, she congratulates Penny on her accomplishments and then immediately poisons it by reassuring her that if the Androidians invaded, Earth would be vaporized in a matter of seconds. But at least we've built up enough relationship points for Kini to promise to save Penny in particular from that hypothetical destruction. To keep her as an endangered pet, I guess. Okay, well, this phone call has been a cognito hazard and a half. Interestingly enough, the spaceship we blew up was the source of the interference messing with Kini's time travel doohickey, meaning she's now free to start repairs, though there's no ETA on completion, so still no safety net for wrong decisions. Penny closes her eyes to get a quick rest before heading home, but a crashing boom bang jolts her awake, and then she falls asleep anyway.
Hey, Penny! Rise and shine, sleepyhead.
Yep, Penny slept through the entire night at her desk. Who could have seen that coming? She mumbles drowsily about Tiger-chan, who vanished just as quickly, and randomly, as she appeared. Miss Whiskey gets Penny up and asks to see the completed project. For each ad, Penny will have a general comment and then tell the story of what transpired to inspire her to make them. With the first one, the coffee break ad, Miss Whiskey will first compliment Penny's use of corporate art style, noting that the bigwigs will love it. Yeah, them and nobody else. The first ad was the piece inspired by Penny's flashback after drinking the day's old coffee, a story that Miss Whiskey reluctantly accepts. She even plays along when Penny says she was there too. You can tell these two have a history. For the second ad, the space ad, Penny likens Zenbot to being the perfect companion to explore the vast unknowns of space with. These preambles definitely feel like she's making them up on the spot. Of course, this piece was inspired by her time sharing burgers with a time-traveling android alien ambassador, a story that worries Miss Whiskey, but the piece looks good and that's all that matters. The third ad, the farm ad, as Penny claimed that Zenbot, quote, evokes the spirit of a bountiful harvest, a true blessing celebrated by all cultures throughout the millennia. Yeah, now I know she's fudging it. Miss Whiskey asks if she's the one depicted in the picture, and apparently she is? I don't see it. It is corporate though, so it can also be anyone. Miss Whiskey gets it and likes it, and that's really all that matters, but she does fear the backstory behind its inception. This drawing was inspired by Penny's time spent clubbing with her, so of course Miss Whiskey'd be the one pictured in it. But how can that be when Penny was in the office all weekend? Well, because they went clubbing in an alternate timeline, naturally. A timeline where Penny went on and became a wise old farmer. Another insane story brushed aside, another piece to inspect. And who could forget the fourth ad, the adventure ad? What better companion exists to adventure through life than Zenbot? Miss Whiskey compliments Penny on the background and muses about traveling somewhere like it one day, to which Penny responds by claiming it to be a real place. Tiger-chan's Jungle Island, of course. The place Penny traveled to after falling asleep at her desk, and the place Tiger-chan traveled from before spending the following evening with Penny in the office. Miss Whiskey has to try really hard not to question that Penny's OC came to life. Well, the whole spiel, really. Naturally, what follows is the fifth ad, the Save the World ad. Zenbot is depicted as being a useful compatriot aiding in saving the world. Penny was inspired to make this piece after actually saving the world via piloting the company's giant laser cannon.
I actually believe that one.
Okay, so everyone knew about the giant laser cannon except for us. And then the sixth ad, the air fry ad. Penny likens the indispensability of Zenbot to that of air fryers, making this the most phoned in sales pitch yet. Miss Whiskey recognizes the person depicted as Sky. Penny tries to argue her same "it could be anyone" bit, but Miss Whiskey still worries that the depiction of Sky might set a certain someone off. Penny asks if, given the evil plan that inspired this piece, if it's even right to be working on the project, but Miss Whiskey simply states that she tries not to think about it. A job is a job, and either way, she's proud of Penny for getting it done, even if she did save it for the last possible weekend. We cut to Penny sitting in the break room waiting for the meeting to finish. She wonders if she should go check on Miss Whiskey since it's been a while. You can have her take a drink of some coffee, and nothing happens. Did you think something would happen? If you try to bring up Penny's phone here, it finally died, so no last-minute phone calls or lumberlast sessions. Going out into the main office, hey, it's the top of Hana's head. Hey, Hana. Blythe, get out of the way. I'm trying to say hi to my new best friend. Penny asks Blythe if she's seen Miss Whiskey, or Sunny Daniel, since Blythe Phoenix seems to be a fan of using full governments.
I do indeed know where she went. In fact, she has just been escorted off the premises.
Penny loses it at that. We went out of our way to fully complete the project. All 6 picks. This should be the good ending. What happened? Why did Miss Whiskey get escorted out?
It was simple, really. The company no longer requires her services. Don't worry, Penelope. We're not singling out just Miss Daniel. You see, as of today, the entire creative organization has been made redundant. Effective immediately, you are no longer an employee of the company.
And so that's how it ends. The entire creative organization was automated away. Even though we succeeded in our mission, it was for naught. Miss Whiskey starts her own creative firm and Penny is invited to work for her. Things start out okay, but the studio quickly goes downhill. Their former company would constantly swoop in and steal clients from them. They were so good at it, they strangled every other creative firm and startup in the country. With Blythe now CEO, the company was unstoppable. Miss Whiskey isn't doing well mentally, and neither of them are doing well financially. Penny wishes for some way to change things, something she could do to help. Penny gets a call from Keeney, but when she answers, she hears someone else's voice.
Hey, Penny, baby!
It's Tiger-chan calling from aboard Keeney's spaceship. She was helping the android repair her Robo-Tachyon Robo-Reactor. Said repairs are all finished, so Keeney can open time portals again. Or, excuse me, Robo-Time Robo-Portals. Apparently, Keeney's got some important information for Penny. For one, it's only thanks to Tiger-chan that the repairs were able to be finished in Penny's lifetime, which don't question Tiger-chan's existence. Remember tip number 5. And secondly, during the weekend where Penny was working on her project, something happened that set Earth on a course towards travesty. Being the peace-seeking ambassador that she is, Keeney implores Penny to travel back in time to prevent that event. Who in their right mind is unironically clicking the no option here? Like, is there a subset of people that get this close to the end and then say nah, and then close the game, never to open it again? Anyway, let's do it. Return to the past now. So Penny is beamed back to Sunday night, right around the time she heard the crashing boom bang. And this time, with pride for Tiger-chan in her heart, Penny stays awake and checks out that noise. In the main office, she runs into Blythe and confronts her about her nefarious plan. But Blythe denies wrongdoing, claiming she's only doing what's best for the company, and offers Penny a demonstration. Xenobot 6000, primed and ready for Phase 2, arrives on the scene.
Behold, the Xenobot 6000 Mark I. Isn't it beautiful?
Anyway, time to confront. We know all about Blythe's plan despite one particular person. Blythe admits that was the plan. That was Xenobot 5000's purpose. And why did she do it? Well, why not? If I had a nickel for every crazy girl in one of these videos that hit the protagonist with a why not, I'd have 2 nickels, which, you know, isn't a lot and all that. So yes, Blythe is incredibly petty and just wanted to ruin Sky's passion. We already knew that part. The conversation that immediately follows it is important though. Let's pay attention to it. But wait, they're just imitations of Sky's work. There's no meaning or passion behind it. People have standards for what they're reading.
Oh, Penelope. Who's going to pay for standards when I'm providing the good enough for so much cheaper and faster? And it worked, didn't it?
Unfortunately, yes, this does work on people, and it is tragic. We know the next bit already. Xenobot 5000 quit to do its own thing, but that thing is also screwing Sky over, so Blythe doesn't mind much. In fact, it's this success in branching out that's inspired Blythe to build a successor to branch out even further. For Phase 1, Blythe wanted to prove that the 6000 was a direct upgrade to the 5000, done so by showing the speed at which it can generate air fryer zines. Subtle imagery there. So, what does Phase 2 entail? Well, Blythe first tells us about her dream, her North Star, as she calls it. She wishes to fire as many people as she can. Because of this, she sees Sky quitting before she can be fired as a blemish on her record. It embarrasses her. So yes, the 5000 was created just to be petty, but it led to the 6000, which could automate anything creative the company would ever need.
Take you, Penelope, for example. It took you weeks to make just 6 advertising assets. Xenobot 6000 can generate hundreds within mere seconds.
She gives a demonstration of this, produced producing more vomit?
As you can see, I've automated away your slow creative process. One Zenebot 6000 is as productive as the entire creative org combined. I've made the creative org completely redundant.
Blythe then reveals that the meeting is really a front to demonstrate to her seniors exactly that.
And I get to fire more people in one day than I ever have before.
Penny calls her mad, which, yeah, even aside from her power tripping, anyone who believes that generated content is more valuable than human created content deserves to be locked up. Penny questions how Blythe could know if Zenebot is even making anything usable or good.
Zenebot 6000 was fed the creativity of millions of artists. Do you have the creativity of millions of artists? I think I'll be fine, Penelope.
There are people who unironically think like this. She also brings up that robot employees don't need pay or benefits or vacations or sick days or parental leave or PTO, which is a sort of transition into revealing that she isn't just obsessed with firing people, but also with efficiency. She has plans to reach full efficiency by automating every single org and firing the entire company, and, once there, she'll branch out from the company to produce Zenebots capable of driving public transportation, to serve as doctors and lawyers and the speakers at drive-thrus for some reason. She seeks to eventually automate every single job in existence. Well, what about Zenebots that can lead a company? Penny asks.
Don't be ridiculous. Upper management is certainly beyond any Zenebot capabilities.
So that's Blythe's plan. Total world automation.
Imagine me firing the CEO. You couldn't dream up a bigger accomplishment. And once everyone at the company has been fired by me and replaced by Zenebots, I will lead this company into a glorious future at 100% efficiency.
But with that, Blythe's supervillain monologue is done. She commands Zenebot to generate a layoff announcement for the creative org, serving as her final attack in this conversation. But Penny's got a counter. She can't be fired because she hasn't submitted her work for the presentation yet.
Oh dear. It appears I may have gotten carried away in my excitement. We'll have to cancel the plan, is what I'd say if that mattered. We are fully prepared for tomorrow's meeting. Not only is your work already saved on the corporate network, not submitting your project would only prove my point that you're completely unreliable. Please, Penelope, think before you speak.
As her final attack, she has Zenebot 6000 generate an NDA, the most powerful acronym in all of business that can single-handedly ruin lives. Please sign here to die. Penny makes a run for it. You can't be forced to sign what can't catch you. Activating termination beam.
Penny, get down!
Best Girl appears just in the nick of time to save Penny's life, equipped with her World of Warcraft hoodie, smashing the evil Zenebot to bits.
You
Blythe goes ballistic, brandishing her knife in attack mode.
You took everything from me. I'm going to do what I should have done a long time ago. Fire you from life.
Blythe moves in to literally murder Sky and Penny when, in an instant, the lights cut out. There is an eerie pause as a flash engulfs everything. The office is painted in a familiar green glow. Blythe screams bloody murder as another flash fills the screen. When our vision returns, the lighting is back to normal, and Blythe is nowhere to be seen. Sky asks what happened, but Penny just brushes it off. We're just instantly back to normalcy after almost being stabbed to death, but I expect nothing less from this game. Penny thanks Sky for saving her. Apparently, she's here because Hana called her and told her everything that was going on, including Penny being in danger. She does care. Sky asks Penny why she was in a fight with Blythe in the first place. Penny starts to get into it, name-dropping Kini and Tiger-chan. Girl, you are horrible at explaining things. You gotta start from the beginning.
Penny, I think I know what's going on.
Oh, never mind. I guess you got it.
Yeah, I think it's time to wake up.
Wake up! Rise and shine, sleepyhead.
Penny wakes up back in the office. Did we just get It Was All a Dreamed? The scene begins to follow the same steps as the previous timeline where Miss Whiskey woke Penny up at her desk, but it's a little different this time around. Apparently, Zenebot 6000 was found destroyed in the office and Blythe's gone missing. So yeah, it was a dream fake out. Got your ass. So the meeting's been canceled and the Zenebot 6000 project will likely also be canceled.
It looks like you didn't have to spend all weekend at the office after all. Should've just went partying with me instead, huh, Pen? Well, anyway, my schedule's a lot more open now. You wanna go get some coffee? My treat!
Sure, the project was canceled, which makes it feel like wasted effort to finish the images, but Penny learned a lot from the journey. We got our good ending after all. Miss Whiskey has plans to open up her own firm in the future, but the two will have to stay at the company a little longer, I assume to build up funds. We then get a Where Are They Now style epilogue. As Whiskey still goes clubbing and Penny still procrastinates, she's learned literally nothing from the events of this game. Hana's gone full tsundere. She didn't care if we died, she just didn't want to have to clean up the mess. Sure. Sky's debating returning to the office now that Blythe's gone, but ultimately she still wants to pursue her dreams. It's a tough call and one that she'll need more time to make. Tiger-chan's real, maybe? She's apparently responsible for calling Kini to Earth in the first place thanks to her sophisticated looking equipment, and likely also responsible for the hostile ships that the company has to shoot down. Whatever, man. I'm not trying to make sense of her. Kini lets us know that she has Blythe held captive in a robo-holding robo-jail, and that she'll stay imprisoned until she's no longer a threat. Additionally, it seems burgers with Kini are a regular event for Penny. As for Blythe, she hasn't given up on her ambitions, swearing revenge against Penny and all of her friends, though she seems a lot less threatening with her knife taken away. And that is the main story of Endless Monday, Dreams and Deadlines. The message behind this game is pretty easy to understand, right? Generated content bad. And I agree. What's impressive is that the strength of this message is not at all downplayed by how ridiculous the plot gets. In fact, I would argue the absurdity of, say, for example, Tiger-chan's existence is more likely to serve as a pro-creativity argument rather than being so nonsensical so as to downplay the seriousness of the message. I do appreciate that one of the things it encourages is following your dreams, but doing so responsibly. Sky saved up money before pursuing her passion, and the game ends with Penny and Miss Whiskey doing the same. It's a good mini message bundled in with the main one. Plus, the commentary on business culture is well delivered. I like that while it still criticizes it, it never talks down on anyone that has to work for a living. And that's all without mentioning how genuinely funny this game is. A lot of that comes from the relatability of procrastination. We've all written an essay the night before it's due, so many of the things Penny says are exact word-for-word things we've all said about our own deadlines. Penny's evolution throughout the story also lends itself well to the comedy. You start off the story thinking she's just a ditz, a procrastinator who drinks day-old coffee and touches things she shouldn't and bothers coworkers who want nothing to do with her, but the events of the story are so ridiculous, she ends up becoming the straight man, forced to accept the absurd. A story like this wouldn't work with any other protagonist. One that's too serious would make the events seem annoying, and one that's too silly would make the plot feel unfocused. Penny's just grounded enough. She's perfect. There's one more thing about this game I haven't brought up, and that is that in an update, the dev released an expansion to the original game called Overtime, and it contains even more content than the base game. And the craziest part? That expansion was a completely free update to the original game. The author refused to let me pay for it. Even if you don't care about seeing the alternate endings of the base game, the expansion content alone is well worth your money. It's a great continuation of Penny's story. Does she learn anything from the events of the base game? Take a wild guess. But it's full of more cute art and more of HT Nunn's hilarious writing. I highly recommend it. Buy Endless Monday. There's also a sequel coming out soon, and I am very much looking forward to that. With all of that said, I think the best way to end this would be with one final productivity tip. It has to be something we learned alongside Penny throughout this journey. An unforgettable message that we needed in order to achieve the good ending. And that is, just don't procrastinate. Thanks for watching. This video was a little all over the place, but that was by design. I wanted the video to somewhat emulate the fever dream that Endless Monday is, so I apologize if it ended up a bit unfocused. Please consider subscribing if you'd like to hear me talk about more amazing indie games. Check out my variety channel for videos of my friends and me playing games together, or my Twitch stream for weekly streams. That's all I got. I hope you all have a good morning, evening, afternoon, or night, and I'll see y'all later.